This is awesome. I wish I could live in every single cabin that we've done. And this beam was a bear to get in.
Reality TV has us used to seeing seemingly common people become involved in a lot of issues, which more often than not aren't necessary. Though the drama aspect is what makes this TV genre so entertaining, shows such as Barnwood Builders are a nice change from that concept. Instead of scripted and sometimes staged scenes, Barnwood Builders gives its audience a true insight into what Mark Bowe and his house-flipping team does, all without losing any of the genuine truthfulness and accuracy involved in their work. However, being one of the most beloved productions of the DIY network also means people often wonder what happened to some of the show's cast members, such as Brian Buckner, who left in the second season without much of an explanation. So whatever happened to him? Why did he leave the show? Keep with us to know all about Brian from Barnwood Builders. If you've been watching Barnwood Builders from the start, you surely remember Brian Buckner for his hilarious sense of humor, lighthearted personality, and trademark bushy beard. Such a memorable person was meant to become unforgettable to the show's audience, which makes it unsurprising that so many people still wonder why he didn't appear again in Barnwood Builders after the 7th episode of the second season. Well, there's a good explanation to all of that. After receiving many inquiries from fans, in 2018, Barnwood Builders' official Twitter account finally announced that Brian's disappearance from the show wasn't a temporary one, as he'd moved out of the area where the show is filmed. He's too far away to work with us. We miss him a bundle. Hopefully one day he'll join us again. Nonetheless, in 2020, Brian was showcased in a YouTube video, revealing that despite not being a negative experience, he had to leave for serious reasons. Right from the get-go, I wasn't sure about the show because of my anxiety. I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad it's out there. Whatever the truth is, it's at least a relief to know that Brian's departure was a willing decision, and no drama was involved with it. Despite explaining the reason behind Brian Buckner's exit from Barnwood Builders, speculation regarding his death has become quite popular in social media. Although it's not certain who started the rumor, an online obituary belonging to someone with Brian's name was apparently found by fans. According to Distractify, such a finding is surely enough for people to assume that the worst had happened to Brian, no matter that it was unconfirmed. Fortunately, Brian is alive and well, and aware of the death rumors around his name. As seen during an interview with the YouTube channel Wendy F, he found the claims hilarious and affirmed that social media is so weird, as he apparently never expected that leaving a TV show would have consequences like that, though he also admitted his health hadn't been the best. Due to his obesity and high blood pressure, he was having a pretty good time regardless. While those extreme speculations are somehow cruel, Brian apparently only finds the situation entertaining. In the reality TV genre, it's more usual to see people beefing with former co-stars or showing animosity towards the show they used to be in, for whatever reason. However, this really isn't the case with Brian Buckner, as he admitted back in 2020. The reasons which ultimately drew him away from Barnwood Builders weren't enough to erase the good times he spent with his fellow castmates, whom he still holds in high regard. I'm just glad it went well for them. I'm sure it's been tough, but I'm sure it's come with a lot of good things, and that makes me happy. Regarding a possible reunion with his former showmates, Brian affirmed it wasn't his call for it to happen, though he would be willing to try if the opportunity arises. So it doesn't seem that Brian has any negative feelings towards Barnwood Builders, despite not resulting in the best outcome for him. There's more than a few aspects about Barnwood Builders that we love. The show crew's passion for keeping history alive by restoring ancient barns and cabins is inspiring enough, but their work ethic and compelling personalities is one of the biggest reasons the show is so successful. Even so, Barnwood Builders is sometimes a subject of skepticism as well. While there's not a lot which could be staged in a series entirely focused on the work of professional builders, the stigma surrounding reality TV for its often lack of authenticity is hard to shake off, even for Mark Bowe and his team. Nonetheless, if there's something for sure about Barnwood Builders, it's that the show is as real as possible from its very beginning. As stated by Mark Bowe, the production process behind the show consists of his business finding projects to work on, followed by setting up details so the TV team knows what to expect. This method allows Barnwood Builders to keep events as real as possible, which is the opposite to what the first offers to appear on TV involved. We were approached by other networks, and that's what they wanted. Drama, he told Knox News, emphasizing that he refused to cuss and argue with his fellow team members, whom he considered his friends. Unbeknownst to many, Mark Bowe's business had been around long before it became popular, thanks to Barnwood Builders. In the late 1990s, the then 18-year-old Mark worked in a coal mine to pay for studies at West Virginia University. After graduating with a degree in business administration, Mark passed on to take an office job, which he soon left to follow an unexpected path. Some guy asked me if I could help him tear down a building. So I did, and caught the restoration bug, he told Knox News in 2017, starting what would become his profession. In 1996, Mark established his business, Antique Cabins and Barns. On the side, Mark also founded an insurance company and even joined West Virginia City Council for a short while. Nonetheless, his main focus remained in antique cabins and barns, which eventually became Barnwood Living, which isn't now restricted to only his hometown, but has expanded to several cities, even launching its own cloth merchandise line. All in all, Mark's skills in business are notable, but it's his love and passion for what he does what actually sets his company apart from others. It's not unusual to see reality TV shows centered on house flipping businesses, but Barnwood Living is very different from those. Preserving the historical value of articles and structures of all types is what the business's team do best, as their mission is to create the feeling of living in the past today. By rescuing logs and timber from the pioneering era, Mark Bowe's intent on resurrecting the past has materialized into buildings, barns, and cabins, which perfectly combine the beauty of centuries-old architecture with modern functionality. As seen in Barnwood Builders, every project taken on by Mark's business is challenging, not necessarily because of its complexity, but due to the special attention his team pays to detail and quality, on top of putting effort into producing exactly what the customers want, without losing Barnwood Living's characteristic style. However, Mark's business isn't usually involved with entire housing projects. Although the work team is most likely skilled enough to build dreamlike cabins and barns, the craftsmen at Barnwood Builders usually just team up with their customers' already contracted architectural or design services to make their visions a reality. On top of that, Barnwood Living shops sell recovered artifacts, which are often the missing pieces for someone else's home. Besides being in charge of his business and the face of Barnwood Living, Mark Bowe also does a lot of the work behind cameras that we often don't get to appreciate. As it happens, Mark became one of Barnwood Builders' producers a couple of years after its premiere. As he told the news website Greenbrier Valley, his work behind the scenes consists of putting the show together, looking out for projects fitting for TV, and developing the stories included in them. Later, he plans every episode, following the singularities of every family and project, including the crafts his team will show on screen, without losing sight of any hardships which might come out during the process. As if that isn't enough, Mark locates local professional craftsmen, woodworkers, and businessmen featured in the show. Moreover, Barnwood Builders has let Mark develop other skills. I also write the epilogue at the end of each show that sums up what you've just watched. All in all, Mark's involvement with Barnwood Builders goes to the show's core, letting him convey his creative vision in a variety of unexpected ways. While any show's mission is primarily to entertain, it goes well beyond just that for Barnwood Builders. As Mark admits, the show helps him accomplish his personal and professional goal of championing West Virginia by changing the meaning of what is usually regarded as hillbilly, a term he wasn't allowed to use during the first season, but which gradually grew on the producers. I think it means strong ties to family and friends, a willingness to do hard work, and things like perseverance and fortitude, he told Greenbrier Valley. According to the Barnwood Builders website, the show gathers around 1 million views per episode. Everyone who simply enjoys Barnwood Builders' combination of history and love for design. Evidently, connecting with people is what is most important to Mark, whether he's in front of the cameras, producing the show, or building a house himself. It's been a while since Brian Buckner left the show in 2015, and while most of the audience has come to terms with his exit, the show has also lost other cast members since then. Alex Webb, who joined Barnwood Builders in 2016 as Brian's replacement, announced his departure during a 12th season episode. Although Mark Bowe described Alex's exit as him moving on to greener pastures, the surprising news was taken with skepticism by the show's audience, who were afraid something bad had happened between Alex and his castmates. However, those negative rumors are certainly unfounded. On his Facebook page, Alex Webb expressed his thanks to his now former co-workers and boss. "I am so grateful for every single fan and the wonderful experiences that I've had." Moreover, it's known that Alex is establishing a second business while continuing to work with his first company, Webb's Joinery and Construction. It's unsurprising that Alex holds Mark in high regard though, as years before, he had already inspired Alex to take a new professional and more fulfilling path. "I kept getting laid off and called back. I was tired of corporate life. I sent an email to Mark, and he called me 10 minutes later," he affirmed in a 2016 interview. Though saying goodbye to Alex might be sad, all seems to be on good terms between him and Mark, who actually understood his former employee's entrepreneurial aspirations. Just as happened to Brian Buckner, Barnwood Builders craftsman Gent has also been the subject of malicious rumors. Early in 2021, speculation about his death circulated on the internet, and though there's no way to trace back the source of these rumors, they certainly became popular enough for some media outlets to report it. However, Johnny is fortunately alive and well. the talented woodworker and painter, has been appearing regularly in episodes of Barnwood Builders, released as recently as 2021. If you haven't been up to date with recent seasons of Barnwood Builders, you may be under the impression that the show was cancelled, as following the show's 12th season wrap-up in 2021, no further episodes or any news of a renewal have been announced. Nonetheless, this is quite normal for Barnwood Builders. Since its premiere in 2013, the show has been releasing one season per year, which is certainly at a slower pace than other productions of the reality TV genre. Though for now, we can only wait until the DIY network eventually renews it. The popularity of Barnwood Builders makes it certain that the show still has many years ahead on TV.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.